Welcome back to Recovery 209, episode 3. I'm sitting down with someone whose story is as real as it gets. He's faced darkness head on and came out the other side into the light. If you're struggling right now, this episode is for you. So let's get to it. Let's get him on right now. Bear with me. Why is it not? Oh, there it is. Oh, shit. Hold on. Bear with me. I sent the request right now. Yeah, switch it.
How's it going? How's it going? So
So
let's
let's
start
start
all
all
over.
over.
Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
all
all
the
the
echo?
echo?
Hey, can
Hey,
you
can you
guys
guys
hear
hear
echo?
echo?
Let me
Let me
know in
know
the
in the
chat,
chat,
please.
please.
How does
How
it
does it
sound?
sound?
Echo.
Echo.
Echo like
Echo like
crazy.
crazy.
Hold up,
Hold
hold
up,
up.
hold
Bear
up,
with
bear
me.
with me.
Is there still
Is there still
echo?
echo?
All right, all right. How me
How me
think? How
think?
me
How me
think?
think?
So
So
check this
check this
out.
out.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
switch it
switch
up
it
a
up a
little
little
bit.
bit.
Wait, disconnect right here, bro?
No,
No,
you
you
stay
stay
on.
on.
Oh
Oh
yeah, there
yeah,
you
there you
go.
go.
Mute
Mute
yours.
yours. How's that right there? Let me know. Let me know.
I muted mine.
Good. Okay. Check it out. We're gonna start all over right now, man. Welcome back to Recovery 209, episode 3. I'm sitting down with someone whose story is real as it gets. He's faced darkness head on and came out the other side into the light. If you're struggling right now, this episode is for you. So let's get into it, man. I'm gonna let my boy right here introduce himself and tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, I'm Jesse in recovery. I'm from Augustine, California.
For the people listening right now, Jess, what was your childhood like?
It was good. It was I grew up with a loving mother, loving father. It was good. You know what I mean? I was just always since I was little. I was always like a little troublemaker. I like trouble. I used to like trouble, man. I had 4 other siblings that grew up, and they they had no problems, no problems. I want to say, the black sheep of my family.
Mm-hmm. Uh, when did you start first experiencing darkness in your life? You know, in a sense of
Yeah,
trouble, getting in trouble, addiction, whatever it is. You know.
I want to say the first time, I was already like 18, 19 when my parents split up. That that I had to move out. You know, my father and I, we moved out. So because they had split up, but they got a divorce and stuff. And I want to say that was like kind of my first real feel of, how can you say it, freedom, making
Mm-hmm.
my own choices, like just doing whatever I wanted, just doing whatever I wanted. Go out, drink, party with the friends, and I think that's where it all started. It just started right there.
Um, when did you start dabbling into addiction?
Hey, that was a good one. It's I, I started with opiates. They At first I started drinking them as I used to work. What was it? A shift from 2 a.m. 10 a.m. And that was maybe like in '09 that I started drinking them just to go to sleep. I started taking them as in something that would help me to go to sleep quicker and rest. So I would drink them like at 10 a.m., enjoy the high for a little bit, and go to sleep. Started drinking them maybe, I would drink maybe five a month, you
Uh-huh.
know? And then I stopped drinking them. I got another job that I was working maybe, what was it, from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I started doing the same thing I was doing over here. Okay, I'll drink them at 6 a.m. That way I can, by the time I get home to Gustin, I'm already feeling that little high, and it would help me go to sleep. Just when I would sleep for like 8, 9 hours.
Yeah. So do you feel like you were only using the substance because it was relaxing you? It was it was helping you sleep. It was helping you um, work better, or what was it?
Yeah, it was just yeah. I like the feeling. I like the feeling, man. You know what I mean? I used to like the feeling, that little high, that dizziness. Um, like I say, I would drink them at 6 a.m. and then it started a little progressing a little bit. Then I started drinking them at 5 a.m. That way I can enjoy the high a little bit while I'm at work now.
Mm.
Just while I'm at work, okay, 30 minutes, cool. Get home, I'm already real high. And little by little, then I'm gonna start drinking them at 2 a.m. Then I started drinking them before my shift.
So it just started progressing and
Yeah, just
progressing.
you know what I mean. You build a
Yeah,
little, yeah. You just start progressing.
and
Yeah,
you were still able to maintain, be a functional addict, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah.
But at that time, I mean, the addiction tells us lies, right? So because I'm maintaining a job, because I have a car, because I have this, that, and the third, um, I'm not an addict. I don't have a problem. When was the time in your life when you started realizing, you know what, fuck, I got a problem?
Hey, yeah, that's a good one. Cause like I said, I started drinking them before my shift. Now every time I get a check, you're spending $300-400 on the substance already.
Uh huh.
You know what I mean? And those are the first signs right there that you got to start noticing. Okay, hey man, you're already spending almost half your check, or you know what I mean, a good portion of your check on a substance, and you got to pay attention to those warning signs right there, man. Like you got to pay attention to them, but like yeah, I got a job. I don't care, man. I got a paycheck coming in the next week, so you just keep buying them. You just keep buying and blowing. Your body starts building a tolerance. Next thing you know, you ain't drinking 5 a day. You're drinking 10 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start drinking 15 a day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Now you're starting to. Now I'm starting to drink them. Um, Even when I get home, I'm already high. I'm already feeling dizzy, but I still keep drinking them. Just keep drinking them, and
So at this time, man, share with me a little bit about like, did anybody start noticing, or was it affecting your work? Was it affecting your relationships? What was it affecting the most?
yeah.
Um,
See, well, at that time, it was it wasn't. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like I got a job. I could hold a job. I work better with them. You know what I mean? I'm working better if I drink them. You know what I mean? I don't care to stay overtime. Give me the overtime, or just pop another one. Pop another one. And when was it? Like 2016. Like I started drinking them again. What was it? Like 2012, 2013. By 2016, I'm already at the peak of my addiction. You know what I mean? On the pain pills. And then something happened, an accident happened actually. That, yeah, it was a bad accident, but it was even worse because now I'm getting prescribed pain pills from the doctor. And now I have an excuse. You know what I mean? I could drink them in front of my family. I could drink these pills in front of my family because they're thinking, oh, it's just, oh, you know what I mean? They're prescribed. But what they don't know, I'm getting the 120 from the doctor and I'm still buying 100 on the side. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's something that, okay, man, you're hiding all that. You're hiding all that. And little by little, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. I gotta, you know what I mean? You got a relationship. At 2016, I had a girlfriend that she was pregnant. And I remember she would always tell me, like, man, you're hooked. You're hooked. Like a fish on a hook right now. You know what I mean? Making that little hook sign. Because it's true. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, don't tell me anything like you don't know. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, that was something rough. That was something rough.
So she was around you all the time. So she was seeing things that you weren't even noticing yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only that, I heard you mention that she was pregnant. You know, but Jesse don't have a problem. Because that addiction is feeding you those lies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's telling me I ain't got a problem. Like, you ain't got a problem. Jesse, you got a job, you got a car, you got a house. You know what I mean? You got, like, not a house, well, yeah, you got a roof over your head. Like you ain't got a problem, bro. The problem was, the only problem that was for me was when I couldn't find any more pills, That was the only problem, really, for me.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Like, no, the problem is, you're already hooked, man.
Right.
And the problem is, I don't know how to ask. Maybe my pride was saying, you don't need to ask for help. You can stop whenever you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can stop whenever you want. And I tried stopping, I would stop. Actually, I would stop. I would stop drinking them maybe for like a month. And then in my head, I would be like, why do you stop drinking them, bro? Like, for what? Like, what's the purpose? There's no purpose. You know what I mean? You can keep drinking them. So I would keep drinking them. And that's...
So while you were doing pills, right? Were you dibbling and dabbling into other substances? Were you drinking, or when you didn't have the pills? Because I heard you say, when you don't have them, were you hurting? Were you on a come down? Like what was it like?
Yeah, you start getting those aches in the bones. Those aching bones. You start fucking shaking your hand, and man, I hated those. And yeah, you gotta drink, do another substance. You know what I mean? Whatever substance. And for me, it was really my problem was pills and cocaine. You know what I mean? I loved those two things. They're like, I used to, man, those were my thing right there. Like there was there wasn't anything else that I knew. Just keep doing my substance. Like I can't explain it, but it was just pills and cocaine, man.
Yeah.
And that was a problem. Alcohol, I would drink. Yeah, I would drink. But with pills and cocaine, you know what I mean? I didn't need to feel another buzz because I was already high off of those two substances. So, I don't know.
So how's your relationship? Well, let's just say this. How did the pregnancy and, everything go while you were actively in your addiction at that time?
Yeah, at first it was cool, but if you're in addiction, you can't trust yourself. You can't trust yourself. So what makes me think I'm gonna trust another woman? You know what I mean? If I can't trust myself, I can't have confidence in myself. What makes me think I'm gonna trust a woman and have confidence in her?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? So right there, all that has to do. If you're in if I'm in an addiction, what makes me think I could hold a relationship? You know what I mean? I can't hold a relationship. I can't because I ain't gonna trust. I ain't gonna trust the girl I'm with. I'm not gonna believe anything she says. It's
Well, I think it has to do a lot too with being selfish, right? Because you gotta choose one or the other. You know what I mean? And I'm sure at that time, man, when you're actively in your addiction, I'm choosing the substance.
yeah,
I'm chasing that bag. I'm chasing that instant gratification, and this girl is always gonna be here. You know what I mean? Because my mentality is uh, if you love me, then you're gonna love me how I am, right?
yeah.
And it's very selfish when it comes to love. Let's say love and addiction. So what happens when you have your kid?
Yeah, when my kid is born, I'm thinking, okay, you gotta chill, Jesse. You gotta stop doing these substances. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm already at the peak of my addiction in 2016 when my kid is born. It's hard for me to stop already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard already. It's hard. I can't. How am I gonna stop, go through withdrawals, and I still gotta take care of a little kid? You know what I mean? I wouldn't have the patience for that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have the patience for it. I didn't want to be around them. And then that selfishness would kick in. If I ain't got a substance, I don't want to be around them.
Right.
I
Right.
don't want to be around him. I don't care about him. I don't care how he feels. You know what I mean? Because it's all about Jesse. It's all about Jesse and getting his fix.
It takes a lot of courage to say that, Jess. I want to let you know because addiction corrupts your mind, bro. And the enemy wants to cheat, lie to you, steal your peace, do all these things to you to separate you from being the man God wants you to be. You know what I mean? And he was doing that, bro. We don't think that the addiction affects our children because they're small. They don't know what's going on. But you think they deserve that shit?
Yeah, they don't.
You know?
They don't.
And one of the things I like to tell individuals that, those are the individuals that are caught in the crossfire. You know? Her or the mom, not just our family, but everybody else, and it sucks to say, but I just want to tell you, man, it takes a lot of courage to admit that shit, because not a lot of people will. But so did that relationship continue, or?
Well, yeah, like I said, the I can't trust myself. I can't trust her. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like if I can't trust myself, like what makes me think I'm gonna trust her? So it's like problems start right there. You know what I mean? Problems start right there. As soon as you can't trust your partner, you know what I mean? Your partner, you can't hold a relationship.
I'm sure you guys are lacking communication.
Lacking communication, you can't see eye to eye anymore. Is really when we were talking, it was just arguing. You know what I mean? It was just arguing, dude. Arguing, then not having money no more to go out and do things to enjoy life. You know what I mean? Because I can't enjoy life if I don't have my substance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like I ain't going out if I ain't got my substance. We're staying home. You know what I mean? And it was like, no, we're staying home.
Right.
And then it was like, you're not going out for the same reason. I can't trust her. You know what I mean? I can't trust myself. Oh no, you can't go out there. No, you ain't going with your family because you're staying here.
Right.
So, hey man, problems are gonna start right there, dude. Problems will start right there. You know what I mean? So, little by little, yeah, it's progressed to something that okay, well, we had to separate. Had to move on. take my kid, and wow, it was something bad. You know what I mean? But for me, I didn't care. I did not care because you know what I mean. I still got my pills. I got my sack right there.
You still got a roof over your head.
Yeah, exactly. I still got a roof. I got a job. I ain't tripping. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. You know what I mean?
I don't got a problem.
Yeah, I still ain't got a problem.
Yeah.
I still ain't got a problem.
Yeah. So I'm sure that happens, you know, for quite some time, and are you still trying to maintain, you know, fatherhood? Are you still trying to see your kid?
Oh yeah. Now he's grown. He's what 9 years old now. You
No,
know?
I'm talking about after you guys separated.
Oh yeah. Well yeah. Oh yeah. I will still go see him and everything. You know what I mean? Go pick him up when on my days off. Go pick him up. Spend time with them. But then again, if I didn't have a substance to get me through that day, like I said, I didn't care if Jesse wanted to see me. My son wanted to see me. You know what I mean? I don't care about you, man. I'm going to go look around and find my substance first.
Mm-hmm.
If I find them, I'll go get you. I'll go spend time with them.
Yeah.
But if I don't find it, I ain't going with you.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do today with you. You know what I mean? You stay with your mother, man. That's not fair, man. That ain't fair. That ain't fair for a little kid.
Nah, it definitely isn't, man. And you know, when I got a hold of it, right? You know, my children were still young. Um, but hearing your story, bro, I take it as an eye opener, you know? Because that could have been me. You get what I'm saying? And that's why you know, hats off to you, bro, because a lot of people need to hear this. You know what I mean? We choose that lifestyle, we choose that substance over our priorities. You know, we don't have no respect for ourselves. We'll choose it over our children, you know. So I'm definitely, bro, that's it. I feel it, honestly, just like, because that's what it does, bro. It don't give a fuck. You know, it doesn't, bro. Like, it doesn't have um it doesn't care. It doesn't care, dude. It doesn't care, and it's very sad. You know, that's why you know, I wanted to start this, man, because it's an eye opener for individuals. You don't have to hit that rock bottom. You know, you don't have to go to that extent. You know what I mean? Listen to the message. You know, listen to his testimony, and maybe you'll get something from it. You know. So I appreciate you sharing that, man. Was there a time you felt completely stuck and completely hopeless?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Plenty of times, man. I would ask God, oh, show me a sign, show me a way. And there were signs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He would give me signs that I would see it. And then I'd be like, wow, no, that's just a coincidence. No, that ain't a sign. I would ignore those signs, you know? I would just ignore it. Just like if people would tell me something like, oh, okay, I would ignore that. You know what I mean? And I would always ask for signs too. To God, I would tell him like, oh, show me the way, like help me stop.
Mm-hmm.
And there were signs, like, you know what I mean? And I would ignore them. I would ignore them because in reality, I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop. I just didn't want to stop.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would start, well, okay, yeah, I do need to stop. But then that comparing myself to people started going on with me. That, well, at least I got a job and this guy ain't got a job. You know what I mean? So, okay, cool. So then I quit my job, but okay, I still got a place to live and this guy ain't got a place to live. So then it was like, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, I started comparing. I got a car, he ain't got a car.
Mm-hmm.
So then I sell my car. I gotta sell cars or whatever. You know what I mean? I lose my license. You know what I mean? I'm in full blown addiction this is like already 2018 when I ain't even got a license. I quit my job already. Um,
You know, I like to tell people, bro, like, we don't lose shit in our addiction, bro. We give that shit away. You know what I mean? You gave that job away. You gave your license away. You gave these things away because you're fucking selfish, you know? And it's like we could reflect back now, you know, but that's how the cycle of insanity is. You know, you're feeding yourself lies. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure there's people around you that are telling you, or, hey, bro, I think you got a problem. Or I think, you know, it's time to chill out, Jess. You know?
yeah, the first person that would tell me, hey man, you got problems and everything, that was my dad. You know what I mean? I used to live with them. We lived together, and he would always tell me like, hey man, like you got a problem, because he would start seeing them. You know what I mean? It's him and I only in the house, and like he could see the first signs. Like, damn, this guy, like, bro, you ain't got money for rent anymore. You ain't got money for the PG&E. You're asking me money for gas now. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? You got a problem, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I don't want to listen to him because my father himself, you know what I mean? He would drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna listen to somebody that drinks. Like, you ain't gonna give me advice. You know what I mean? You take your own advice. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like, so right there is just, I don't want to listen to anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to listen to it's my way. It's only my way. You know what I mean? But yeah, people would tell me, hey man, you got problems, dude. You got problems. Like, he was the first one that would tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the first one that would tell me, and I just didn't want to listen to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to any of that.
I definitely could relate to that, bro, because what I feel is like when people start noticing and people start telling you the truth, you start not wanting to go around those people. You know what I mean? You start wanting to isolate. You know, you start wanting to exclude yourself out because deep down inside, like, we know we got a problem. You know what I mean? But we got to maintain this image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't want the world to know that we're fucking struggling or going through whatever we're going through. At least for me, right? And you said you grew up around your father, so I know that, you know, two men in the same household, um, there could be some bumping heads.
Oh, yeah, there was plenty of bumping heads between me and my father. You know what I mean? Plenty of it. And mostly because I was spending all my money on my substance. You know what I mean? I wasn't helping out anymore. I didn't care. I didn't care. You pay the bills, man. Relax. You know what I mean? Just pay them. I'll pay you back later.
Yeah.
That was really what was going on with him and I. You know what I mean? But like I said, it comes to a point that I let my job go. Now I can't afford my addiction anymore. You know what I mean? It's getting expensive. I mean, I'm drinking like 20 to 30 a day. So now I got to move on to something cheaper and stronger, though. You know, and what was that? That was like 2019 when I started doing the fentanyl, and wow, that's when it just got bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when, okay, I'm not selling my things like these people are. So then next month I start selling my things. I start selling my things. I start running out of things to
Then
sell.
you told me you sold your car.
Sold the cars. You know what I mean? I took out a loan on a car, just because I didn't have money for pills anymore. You know what I mean? I had to take a loan out on a car. Lost that car too, because obviously I ain't gonna pay the loan back. So you know what I mean? I ain't gonna pay that loan back. So now, like I said, problems start with my father. I get, you know what I mean? Hey man, you gotta go. You gotta leave this house, bro. So I do leave the house. I go live on my own, or you know what I mean, do my own thing. full-blown fucking addict already. And next thing I know, I'm homeless. Homeless, you know what I mean? It's just living in a park.
Yeah, hold
Living,
on, just before you get there, man. You know the extents that will go for the substance. You know what I mean? The people that will hurt for the substance. Our life, our mind evolves around this fucking substance. You know what I mean? Uh, decomprehensible demoralization, right? It takes our morals away. It takes our principles away. It takes who we are as an individual away. It corrupts our mind, bro. You know. So now you're couch surfing. You don't got a car. You know. So what's next for you?
what's next for me? Yeah.
No, not right now.
No,
But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, what's next?
Yeah, it was just that homeless.
Have you ever OD'd or how
Oh
was it?
yeah. See, my family. I don't think my family even. I OD'd, ended up in the hospital because I started drinking the fentanyl pills. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I started drinking those fentanyl pills. I just remember waking up in the hospital, handcuffed to the bed, and then a doctor coming in, a sergeant, what is it, a counselor? I don't know what the hell. They gave me all these pamphlets that you need help.
Like, bro, you got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You got a problem, man.
Yeah.
You got a problem. And well, I guess it's they got to do that. So my only worries were let me go because I'm already starting to feel the withdrawals.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Let me go. So and as soon as I got out of those hospitals, that's where I went straight to the Connect, picked up more pills, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to go through the withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to go through the withdrawals. I don't want to go and I don't want to hear anything. I don't need help. I still don't need help.
Mm-hmm.
Deep down inside, I know I need help. I just did not know how to reach out to my family and ask them for help.
Right.
I just did not. You know what I mean? I couldn't. I thought they were going to reject me, push me away, like, get the hell out of here, bro. Don't talk to us anymore. You know what I mean? Because in reality, I had pushed them already away in my addiction. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, man, you're already showing you don't care for your family, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? My father, I'm not speaking to my father. I have a brother also that, you know what I mean? We really couldn't look eye to eye because he already knew, like, Jesse, you're tweaking, bro.
Yeah.
You're tweaking, but I still don't know how to ask for help. You know what I mean? I'm scared. I want to say I was scared to ask for help.
That fear.
Yeah, I was scared, dude. I was scared to ask for help.
Yeah, but we operate off that fear and that mask, you know. But at that time, you think that was your darkest moment?
The darkest moment at that time? No, my darkest moment was when I didn't have anything. I didn't have nowhere to go.
Your rock bottom.
Yeah, that was for me. That was my rock bottom. You know what I mean?
So tell us a little bit about that. How that started, or what happened?
Just when I got my rock bottom, that's when I had to call my sister and ask her for.
But you were homeless, right?
Yeah, I was already homeless.
Uh-huh.
I was already homeless. I was already staying at the park, walking around town. You know,
What was your thought process?
like, don't run out of pills. Don't run out of pills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in reality, that's what I was thinking, man, dude. Like, you gotta don't run out of pills, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Don't run out of pills because you're gonna be going through withdrawals bad. And that was my only worry, man.
Yeah.
And then I remember one time I had to call my sister and I asked her for a pizza. If she could buy me pizza or something like that. You know what I mean? Buy me food. I think I have maybe like 3 days without food already. You know what I mean?
No shower.
Especially no shower, smelling like sobaco and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you know what I mean? So, and I remember the next day she called me and she's like, you need help? We can give you help. You know what I mean? We could give you help if you really want the help.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I jumped on that. As soon as she asked me, as soon as she told me if I needed help, I remember I told her yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did. You know what I mean? I was hoping for somebody to help me. Because I remember walking around the orchards like, oh man, I need help. I need help. But I still, I couldn't ask for help. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I couldn't, and I wouldn't, and I wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't gonna ask for help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when, that's when was it? That was like in 2021
Mm-hmm.
of July. I still remember, yeah, July of 2021 when I went to rehab. And I had to do rehab in Mexico that forced rehabilitation.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, you're gonna stay here because you're gonna stay here.
Uh-huh.
You ain't got no rights. You're gonna stay here for as long as your family keeps you in there.
So you went to rehab in Mexico.
In Mexico. You know what I mean? From right there, you can't.
Do you think if you would have went to rehab here, you would have checked out?
I would have been gone as soon as I got withdrawals.
Yeah.
I would have been gone as soon as I was.
So tell me a little. So when you got into rehab in Mexico, like, well, shit, for the viewers, like, what is it like? What, you know?
Yeah, like I said, it's forced. It's forced rehabilitation in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be their way. There ain't no Jesse's way, because the way Jesse was doing it, look where I ended up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no Jesse's way no more. You know what I mean? And the only way I went to rehab really was, I remember I told my sister, okay, yeah, but only for 30 days.
Right.
Only for 30 days. And those 30 days, man, turned into what, like 10, 11 months. 10, 11 months. And, well, it helped. You know what I mean? It helped because I remember going through hell in rehab. Like, I had withdrawals for, I want to say, a good month.
Mm-hmm.
Good month. On the third month, that's when I started waking up, not thinking about the substance.
You started getting that clarity.
The clarity. I started waking up, already doing my chores, doing my duties, setting up the meetings, coordinating. You know what I mean? Now I could do all that. You know what I mean? Willingly. But to fully accept that I was an addict, man, I couldn't accept it still. You know what I mean? It was easy for me to say, okay, yeah, I'm an addict, but I couldn't accept it. You know what I mean? There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Saying it and accepting it. I want to say I accepted it like in the 4th month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you know what I mean? I am an addict. I am an addict. I do need help, and I'm here for my own good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I still wanted out. I was angry at my family for not taking me out whenever I told them, like, hey, man, I want out already. My sister would tell me, hey, man, you got 30 more days. Mm-hmm. And dude, that's all she would say. You know what I mean? And, man, that would get me so angry. That would get me so angry, mijo, that I didn't want to speak to them anymore. Mm-hmm. And then one day in rehab, I still remember, I want to say it was a Sunday, man. A Sunday when they told me, hey, Jesse, you got session with the counselor. You know what I mean? We don't have sessions on Saturdays and Sundays. Like, that's the weekend.
That's your free week?
Yeah, that's our free week. That's our free weekend. Saturdays, Sundays, we get to chill. So I was like, session on a Sunday? That's weird. So I go into the session with the counselor because she don't go there on Sundays also. So I see Ana Lidia, like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing here? And she just tells me, like, hey, man, I got your family on the phone that they need to speak to you. So in my head, oh, yeah, hey, man, they're going to take me out already. It's my time. You know what I mean? And it was like.
So you're what? You're 9 months clean and sober?
Yeah, clean and sober. Yeah, I was already 9, 10 months, whatever. I was in there. And, yeah, that phone call wasn't.
What you expected?
Yeah, it was to tell me, hey, man, you're going to get out. But it wasn't a happy one, you know? Mm-hmm. It was to tell me that, that my father had passed away. So that one was, that one was hard, man. You know, like, fuck. So it was, it was something I had to deal for 2 weeks still inside rehab. You know what I mean? Like go through that process. Like I wonder if they're lying to me. They're lying to me just to see my reaction, to see what I do. But yeah, hey man, yeah, I'm in rehab and well, that happens, dude. That's life. It's life. You know what I mean? That's life, and we can't control all that. We can't control it. But yeah, that one was hard, man. That one was hard. So that's the only reason I got out of rehab. You know what I mean? Because my dad passed away, and
And now you're dealing with the grief.
now I'm dealing with that, man. I'm dealing with
Emotion.
yeah,
Real
man.
emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You can't run from it no more.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like I get out and like, hey man, what are you gonna do now? You know what I mean? Because the thing was come out of rehab, come to my dad's funeral, and go back. Go back to rehab. You ain't gonna tell me to go back to rehab. You know what I mean? I was just there. I wanted out. I ain't going back to rehab. So like, okay, cool. Jesse, you want to be an adult now? You want to take decisions on your own? Figure out where you're gonna live now, bro.
How old are you at this time?
At that time, I'm already like 33, 33, 34. Like, hey man, you okay? You want to be an adult? You want to make decisions, motherfucker? Figure it out. And that's what I did. You know what I mean? I moved from Gustine to down south to Fontana, and the whole time I'm in rehab though, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna come out and I'm doing it for my father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm doing it. And in rehab though, all the time they're telling you do it for yourself. You gotta get sober for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else. You gotta do it for yourself. You know what I mean? But you don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to that. What the fuck do they know what they're talking about? They don't know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? I'm coming out and I'm gonna talk to my father about addiction. I'm gonna take him to meetings with me. So now I moved down south, and the person I wanted to talk to about this addiction problem is now gone. You know what I mean? So now who am I doing it for? There's no point. There's no point for me to stay sober anymore. You know what I mean? So they call it, there's a name for it, relapse. You know what I mean? So now I'm in Fontana, drinking, and I'm an addict. It's easy for me to find who has the substance. You know what I mean? So I find, you know what I mean? I find, dude. And it was like 3 months after, I got out. And 3 months later, I'm over there just chugging bottles of tequila down my throat. You know what I mean? No chaser, no nothing. Just chugging them down and doing a little bit of cocaine.
Because the problem was the pills.
The pills.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the problem was the pills. So it's okay if I drink. It's okay if I do a line or two. A little bump, right? Yeah. To deal with the emotions, to deal with whatever I'm going through. Because I only went to rehab because I had a pill problem.
Yeah, pill problem. Yeah.
No, you had a Jesse problem. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm over there 3 months into it already, chugging bottles, doing coke. And then I catch myself, or I don't know what happened. But one day I'm thinking like, okay, whatever you stopped doing in Gustine, now you're doing it in Fontana, bro. You know what I mean? I turned off that candle down there in Gustine and I relit it in Fontana. You know what I mean? It ain't a new candle I'm lighting. It's not it's not a new candle I'm lighting. I'm lighting the same candle I turned off.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's gonna happen when that candle
wears
out? You know what I mean? That's it. That's the end of the road. So it's not a new candle, man. So I caught myself. I remember waking up one day just grabbing the bottles. I think I want to say I had like 4 bottles in my room. I had a sack, flushed it down the toilet. All the bottles I threw away. And from that day forward, man, I just started. I woke up, started doing my laundry, started showering, taking care of myself. You know what I mean? You could say talking to God. Other people can say talking to yourself. You know what I mean? And from that day on, I started, like, okay, hey man, yeah, you got to be sober for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm forgetting I got a son. I have a son, dude. You're drinking, doing coke all over again, bro. What about your son?
Right, right.
You know what I mean? What about your son, dude? So I'm not gonna do it for my son anymore. I'm doing it for myself now. Because if I'm good and if I'm sober, I'm thinking straight, I can help out my son now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm further away from him now because he lives in Modesto. I'm living in Fontana. But you know what I mean is that clip that when I started thinking better, I started getting closer to my son actually, like emotionally. You know what I mean? Physically, I wasn't there. You know what I mean? But emotionally, mentally, I could speak to him now.
Right.
I could talk to him. I could joke around with them.
And that's because all that time, he's older now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's older, and so time flies, right? And that distance, there's distance there, but there's still that bond, bro. You know what I mean? There's still that bond, and
because he wants to know why I'm over there in Fontana. He wants to know why I'm further away.
Yeah, he starts asking those questions.
Yeah, he starts asking me all those. So it's, at first I'm telling him, oh, it's because of work. Maybe it's because of work. It's because of work. You know what I mean? So now he's getting older and he's still asking. You know what I mean? I come down here to Fontana to Modesto. You know what I mean? I ain't got a car, so I got to go on the train. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got to go on the train, man. You know what I mean? Like, I never thought about, like, I never thought I would have to take a train to go see my son. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, man. But it's like just seeing him heartbroken when I would get on the train and leaving. You know what I mean? That like, oh, dude, like, Jesse, you gotta do something, bro. Like, you gotta do something, man. Like, you can't be living like this always, dude. And yeah, like, I understand now that being sober, clean, thinking straight. Okay, hey, man, I could be there for my kid now.
Right.
Even though I can't like be there always with them physically, you know what I mean? But at least we have communication now. And I got communication with them now, you know what I mean? If he has problems in school, he could tell me. You know what I mean? Before it was, I was in addiction. I was always there for him physically, but mentally and emotionally.
You were checked out.
Exactly. Because, okay, let's go to Santa Cruz. Let's go to Frisco. Let's go to Yosemite. You know what? I was showing him a good time. But like there was no communication between him and I. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now he'll call me on the phone and we'll talk and I don't know, he'll tell me something, you know what I mean? And I can answer. Like, okay, oh yeah, maybe kids are just being mean. You know what I mean? We can talk now.
That emotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Emotional intelligence, stuff that we lacked. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're very self-aware of yourself and what you went through, and we don't want to project that onto our children. You know what I mean? And as a man, yeah, we could be present. We could give them whatever, they want and this and that, but are we mentally there? Are we fully present with them? You know what I mean? Are we showing them emotional intelligence? Are we giving them the things that we didn't have? You know what I mean? Growing up as a youngster, a child.
In my head, I'm thinking, as long as you buy him things, he's gonna be happy. No, hell no. He's happier now. You know what I mean? I can't buy him much things right now. You know what I mean? But he's happier now because at least like I said, we got communication. He knows I'm all right. You know what I mean? Right now, my thing with him is what I'm gonna tell him in the future if he ever asks, what's it mean that you were an addict or that you are an addict? You know what I mean? Because I am an addict. Just because I ain't consuming right now doesn't mean I ain't an addict anymore. That's why it's recovery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't say, I'm recovered already because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
We only got today.
Yeah, exactly. Living just one day at a time. I know I'm sober today, and I'll worry about tomorrow when it comes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll worry about tomorrow when it comes. But that's my only thing. That's what I do think about. Like, what am I gonna tell him when he does get to a point that he asks me, "Oh, how come you're an addict?" Or you know what I mean? That's what I worry about. But that's something small, something simple.
The Cadillac problems.
Cadillac problems. All right. Yeah.
So now you're transitioned, right? You're not living out there no more. You're back, you know, and so what does kind of like life look like for you, like today, you know, as Jesse, like, cause you're definitely an inspiration, bro, for real. You know, I remember getting those phone calls like, fucking Jess, you know, like, but at the same time, like, you know, I'm working a program. I'm in recovery, and it's like God brought us together for certain reasons, bro. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because iron sharpens iron, and I don't care how much time an individual has. I always got to learn something from someone, you know what I mean? And you're definitely an individual that I've learned something from. I tell you this on camera and off camera. Because it's real, bro. I seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? I seen your struggle. I seen that darkness. I seen that, but at the same time, I was going through my own shit. You know what I mean? And then now we're on the other side, and it's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, it's like you say, dude. Cause it's like, okay, I remember. You know what I mean? I remember Bernie as Chango. You know what I mean? That Chango mode.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I remember that. That's why when I started seeing this Recovery 209, like, hey man, like I never gave it, you know, for meetings, I never thought I needed meetings. I came out of rehab and I never gave meetings a chance because it was like, man, what those meetings? Losers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But not knowing that me calling them losers, I was calling myself. You know what I mean? That was for myself right there, dude.
Right.
Because that ain't, you know what I mean? That meetings help, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen it with you because it's like I see you and it's like, what the hell? Like, man, I remember staying up 4 or 5 a.m. with Chango, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, man, like you say, dude, like I really do look up to you because it's like, man, this guy really did change. We can all change, but like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So I'm not gonna say I'm recovered. You know what I mean? Because something can happen tomorrow that will make me lose it. And you know what? For me, little things make. I'll take little things as an excuse to start consuming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right now it's like, oh, should I go get like a little pen, like a little weed pen? You know what I mean? Just to relax. Cause I'm going, I can't find you know what I mean? I'm like, I want to get a job, but I want to get it now already, man.
Right.
I want that job already, dude. And it's like, but it doesn't come right away.
Right.
It doesn't come right away. And what I know is,
well, you always got to remember that we're addicts, right? We have that addict personality. So like when we pray, bro, because you know I'm a big believer in Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? That's what got me through that adversity. You know, when I didn't have no one to call on, who was I gonna call on? You know what I mean? It's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, bro. I'm not gonna call my sponsor. You know what I mean? So I've learned, you know, to not rely on man, bro, but to rely on a power greater than myself, you know, who I call Jesus Christ, God, you know? And through those dark times, man, in prayer, you know, I would pray, bro, and I would sit there and that addictive personality kick in, like, I want it now, but I have to realize it's on his timing and not my timing, you know what I mean? And I think that's kind of like where you're at today in life, but what are the tools in your tool bag? Or what does your daily routine look like so you could keep sharpening them so you don't have trouble with those little triggers or those little thoughts or You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because I believe in God also. You know what I mean? You can believe in God, the universe, nature. I still believe that no matter what, it's still going up to one thing. You know what I mean? Just that's God. You know what I mean?
Right,
You could
right.
call him the universe. You could call him Mother Nature. You, unless you're an atheist, you know what I mean? Those people that believe in the Big Bang. You know what I mean? But hey, like I say, hey, I like going. I'll go to church. You know what I mean. Even if I gotta go there just for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it's really relaxing. And I talk to him. You know what I mean. I talk to him, and it puts me at ease.
Right.
It does put me at ease. You know what I mean. It puts me at ease. I'll leave and I'll be good. You know what I mean. It's like, okay, cool. I don't need a substance, because the only thing a substance is really gonna do to me is just make me overthink. It's good to think. You know what I mean? But when you overthink, that's when stress comes coming in.
Yeah.
Depression.
Anxiety.
Anxiety. Yeah, it's like, all right, man, like, okay, cool. So I gotta catch myself on those things.
Right, right.
I gotta catch myself on those things. Like, okay, you're overthinking. Stop looking at that. Somebody told me, it's okay to look at that rear view mirror and see what you did in the past, but don't get stuck back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to me when I was back in Fontana. I was still seeing in that rear view mirror and getting stuck. You know what I mean? So what happens if I get stuck right there and that? Everything that's coming to me, there's a big old windshield. Everything that's coming is just getting piled up, because I'm still looking at that rear view mirror.
Yeah, you're not.
Glance at it, go ahead, glance at it, look, oh man, woo, like dang, that's what you know what I mean? But look, hey man, the future's coming.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's coming, life is coming at you still, man. It ain't gonna stop. So you could chill out and look, and fucking daydream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I can't change the past. The people I hurt in the past, it's not something, okay, I'm proud of it. You know what I mean? I'm not proud of that, but I can't change it. It's out of my control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only thing I can do is, okay, realize, okay, yeah, I did bad. I took advantage of people, and learn from it. Learn from it. And if those people can forgive me, well, good. You know what I mean? That's good. But if they can't forgive me, the same thing. You know what I mean? Not like Pueblo said, there ain't nothing I can do about that. If you can't forgive me for what I did, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? That's your problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. You deal with it. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna deal with that.
Yeah.
Because I already know what I did, and I know what I have to do now.
Yeah.
I know what I have to do now.
Yeah.
So
it's just making those amends, because when we make amends, bro, it's not to get a reaction out of them. It's not for them, bro. It's for me. Because I gotta let go and I gotta let God. I gotta still keep pushing. I gotta still keep showing up. I gotta still keep sharpening my mind. I gotta still keep progressing, because if I get so caught up in people's opinions, then that shit could lead me back out to addiction, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so today, bro, it's like, do you go to meetings? Do you have a sponsor? Like, what are the things you do so that you can sharpen that iron, bro? Because it's super important what I try to share to other men, bro, that it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? You know this, Jess, if I have an issue or if I got something going on, bro, I pick up that phone. You know what I mean? I don't try to figure out everything on my own, because when I start trying to take control of everything, I fuck everything up. You know what I mean? And so now that you're back here, do you go to meetings and
Yeah, I do go to meetings. I started going to meetings, you know what I mean? Well, thanks to you, you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I'll give those meetings a try. I'll give those meetings a try. And my only, not regret, but I should have gave those meetings a try back in Fontana also, you know what I mean?
Hey, I remember a phone call. I remember you called me when you were in Fontana, bro, and I think I was just maybe leaving a meeting or going to a meeting, and I would tell you, just get plugged in, find a meeting or because they're gonna help you, bro, so you can start building that foundation, and you used to always be like, nah, fuck that, nah, Chongo.
Because I don't need them.
Nah, Chalo, I don't need those meetings, and but God has a reason for everything, bro. You know what I mean? You're here today, giving that light, bro.
Yeah, because those meetings it's not. You could speak about things, and you ain't gonna sound crazy in those meetings. You know what I mean? If somebody that ain't an addict and doesn't understand what addiction is, and I start speaking to them about it, all they're gonna be like, man, this was crazy. Ya quedó loco. ¿Sí me entiendes? There's no fixing them. But if you go to a meeting, you're gonna hear their conversations, and from every conversation that you hear, you could take that little piece of rock, or you know what I mean, that helps you, and the rest of it you could throw away. You know what I mean? Just don't pick up that crack rock. Just pick up the rock of the conversation. You know what I mean? That okay, I like what you said right there, and keep that. And the rest of it, yeah, go ahead, throw it away. You know what I mean? Throw it away.
Yeah.
I go to meetings, and every time I go to the meeting, I hear something new, and it's like, oh man, I like what you just said, man. Yeah. I like what you said, dude. And I'll keep that. You know what I mean? I'll keep that. Like some guy said about, is this going to matter in 10 years? You know what I mean? Then don't give me more than 10 minutes, man. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's true. Yeah. And I like those. You know what? I like going to meetings now. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I don't go to meetings, I feel like I'm cheating on AA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, dang. Like, oh, man. Like, I wonder if they're going to be mad because I didn't go. But no, it's just, you know what I mean? But
man. I mean, a lot of people, think that, you know what I mean? Like, meetings are for quitters. They don't know what they're talking about. This, that, and the third. We hear it all, bro. But really, step into those rooms. Sit down and listen to an addict. Let them tell you their story and how they went through that darkness and now they have some light. You know what I mean?
Because I want to hear what's working for you so I can start using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know, man. And that's why I keep going. And right now, okay, I go and whatever I'm doing now is working out better than when, you know what I mean? A lot better, way better actually, way better than when I was in addiction. You know what I mean? When I was in addiction, nothing was working out. Nothing was working out.
Yeah.
And now going to meetings, praying, going to church, you know what I mean? Hey, man, I see that it's working. Like, it's working. Don't stop. Keep doing that, man. Keep doing all that.
Yeah.
Because it is working. You know what? Maybe it won't work for other people, but it's working for me.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? My family, I want to think at least my family trusts me. No, not trust me, but they believe me. You know what I mean? Because I ain't got no reason to lie anymore, man. I ain't got no reason to lie anymore, dude.
Right. You're honest.
There's no reason for me to lie. Ask me if my sisters can ask me, hey, you think this looks pretty? If it don't look pretty, I'm going to let them know, no, I don't look pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I don't have to lie anymore, man. I don't have to lie to hide something. Before I was just lies. I had to lie about a lie. You know what I mean? Lies, like...
They're just stacking up.
Yeah, exactly. Stacking up. I didn't even know, like, man, I think I lied about that. And let me make something else up now. But you know what I mean? Now is, I want to say my family, I hope they believe me now. You know what I mean? Because there ain't no reason for me to lie.
I know your family's proud of you, bro. I mean, from, where you came from and where you're at today, bro. It's inspiring, bro. For reals,
Yeah, the family's everything. At the end of the day, man, your families are the ones that are going to be there for you. You know what I mean? Nothing to say bad, your friends ain't going to be there. No, because you were that friend. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of friends needed help, and you know what? I never helped them. You know what I mean? Because for the same reason, I'm in my addiction, bro. Like, keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care about your problems. But at the end of the day, man, your family is gonna be there for you. They're the ones that are gonna help. You know what I mean? My family is the one that put me into the rehab. You know what I mean? They're the ones that were giving me everything, and even until now, you know what I mean? If I call them for help, they'll help me. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that now. You know, now I get to appreciate things.
Ooh.
Now I get to appreciate things. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Now I can realize like, okay, cool. Like, oh man, thank you for this. You know, even though I don't tell them, but you know what I mean. At least I know, like, okay, thank you for this, man. Thank you for what you guys are doing for me. You know what I mean? Because in our reality, Jesse, you want to be an adult, like we ain't gonna help you, bro. You know what I mean? That they can't do that. They can't do that. Like,
yeah, they cut you off.
Yeah, bro. Do your thing, bro. Like shit, like you're grown already, man.
Yeah, like, it's because that's love, bro. Like you know, love is everything, right? And you know, we take advantage of our family because we think they're always gonna be there.
That they have to be there.
Or yeah, because you know, that's my son, or that's my brother, or that's my cousin, whatever it is, right? But in reality, bro, I can love you, but I can love you from a distance. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I have to do that a lot with my friends now. You know what I mean? And this is real, bro, because you know, I have a vision. You know, I have a different mindset today. I have a purpose. I have children. You know what I mean? I have a foundation. I'm established, right? I'm learning how to be a better man, right? I'm sure you are too. So I have to always consider, bro, like, I love you, but doesn't mean you need access to me. You know what I mean? I love you, but I can love you from a distance, bro. If you call me, I'm there. You know what I mean? If I could help, I could help, but I don't go out of my way no more to do things that are gonna jeopardize my recovery. You get what I'm saying? And that's why meetings are super important. The relationships that I build in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, bro, like, you know, I have a sponsor today who believes in me, and the things are is that you build these relationships with these individuals because they were once on that side and now they're on this side, and it's real. You know what I mean? And when you came back to over here, were you kind of like nervous?
Nervous, lost. I didn't know. I didn't know if I was making the right decision. You know what I mean? I wanted to know if I was still thinking like an addict and making like selfish decisions, because you know what I mean is like now I come over here, I ain't got a job, I gotta stay with my sister. You know what I mean? It's like, hey man, like am I making all kinds of selfish decisions now just because I want it? Well, it's I don't know, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard, but it's fun. It's fun because I get to deal with this now in a sober, in a sober state of mind. And before, if I was still in addiction, I would have gave up already. I would have gave up a long time ago, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't be here with you. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have to go. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Well, I'm super proud of you, Jess. You know, I definitely know that your story is going to enlighten individuals. I know someone, you know, got something from Jesse's testimony, but what would you say to someone who feels stuck right now, or someone that's struggling? What would you tell them? You know,
I would just tell them, out of my experience and knowing now, don't be afraid to ask for help. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to ask somebody for an advice, especially if it's your family. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. If they love you, they're gonna help you, man. Mm-hmm. If somebody says they love you, they're gonna help you. You know what I mean. Don't do anything, but you gotta ask for help, especially if you're struggling with an addiction. You're struggling with an addiction, you gotta ask for help. There ain't no other way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, the way Jesse was doing it, it wasn't working out. It was not working out.
It was your will and not God's will.
Exactly.
So to close this out, Jesse, once again, man, I definitely appreciate you sitting down with me, man, and sharing your story. You're my friend, you're my brother. Uh, I'm proud of you. I got your back if I can, bro. You know that. So what does Recovery 209 mean to you?
Recovery 209. Recovery 209. I don't know. It's just gotta keep going. You know what I mean? When I hear recovery, it's like, okay, to tell you the truth, when I hear recovery, I picture you like, okay, well, Changuito's doing it, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing it. You know what I mean? I can do it. I ain't comparing. You know what I mean? I ain't comparing because that's what got me lost in the beginning. But recovery means you can do it.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be a recovered. I'll say I'm recovered when I'm dead. Go ahead and put it in my tombstone. You know what I mean? Engrave that, recover. Because, like I say, tomorrow.
It's not promised.
I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? What if something bad happens and it makes me lose it? So you know what I mean? I can't say I'm recovered already. So I'm always gonna be in recovery until the day I die. You know what I mean? Until the day I die, I'm gonna be. Go ahead and put it in my tombstone. Recovered already.
Yeah. Definitely, bro. I appreciate you for being real and sharing that, man. If this episode touched you, share it with someone who needs it. This is Recovery 209, shining light where there's darkness. We'll see you next time, man. Regardless.